Hello and welcome back to Princess Evangile. Right, time for a dog pile. Whee! Ah! She reached around Ryuki-san and wrapped her arms around my neck. And Ryuki-san was still crying so hard, but she didn't seem to notice she was sandwiched between us. Sister, he was only just released from the hospital. Oh, it's no big deal, he's already back to normal. He was even searching porn sites. Huh? Hang on a minute, Ayaka-san, what are you talking about? And I'll join in. Yeah! I felt her cheek press against my back, and my muscles twitched unconsciously. He appears to be in good health, so I feel safe in doing this. Ritsuki-chan took my arm reservedly. Me too. I do not wish to see you dead until we can engage in combat. Konomi-chan tugged at my other arm firmly. I'm pretty sure we won't be engaging in combat either way. Chio? Chio was the only person who remained at a distance, her manner uncertain. And when I tried to meet her eyes, she looked away evasively. I'd never seen her like this. Huh? Really gonna hold back? Come on, that restraint thing was just a joke. One of the most soldierly... You're one of the most solitary people in Venice is. I'm aware. I guess you're afraid people will think you're a loose woman, but don't worry, nobody cares about that kind of thing here. I guess you're right. Yes, I won't hesitate anymore. Because I'm your childhood friend. Huh? I felt Rai-san raise her face away from my back. And in that moment, it seemed like some complicated emotions passed between them. But neither Ayaka-san nor any others seemed to have realised it. Chio launched into a jog and circled around behind me. Okay, out of my way. What are you... There's nowhere else to go. You have to make room. Oh, really? What's with you? Why are you pushing back instead of making room? Oh, am I? I wasn't aware I was doing that. You're not aware of it? Don't lie to me. It's true! Whoa! They began pushing at each other behind me, and I felt my body begin to sway. Why am I shaking? Is it an earthquake? How are you so strong? I could say the same about you. Gracious, feels like a 6 or a 7 on the Richter scale. Panku said something other than coup? This truly must be a sign of the apocalypse. That afternoon, I checked out a pocket edition newspaper from the library and took it to an empty classroom to have a quiet place to search. I knew the day, year and time of the incident. It seemed like an easy matter to find the right place amidst the tiny type in the thick volume, but... What's this? I spoke like a man who'd seen a ghost, and an entire portion of the page had been blacked out. Never seen anything like this outside of wartime censorship. The newspaper's date was the 8th of the 13th. Ah! Bloody Americans. You mean so it was the 13th day of the 8th month, right? America, you are aware you are the only country in the world that writes the date that way round. Everybody else does it the sensible way. Date first, then month, then year. The incident had occurred on the 12th, so it should have been written about the next day. I checked out the next week's worth of pages, but I couldn't find anything about the incident, and there were no more traces of censorship either. I can't believe there'd be nothing in a paper about an event that big, which means that must have been the part that had been censored. Venice seemed to want to keep its students from finding out about the Mitsugura Shrine attempted murder arson. But why? Besides, even as strict as Venice's was, this kind of censorship seemed to be going too far. This is really strange. I closed the thick volume, and it seemed like there was no way to find out about the details about the incident in the end. I was just going to have to ask someone, but people would probably think I was strange if I started snooping around too much. I'll just have to search when I leave the school then. I'm still free to leave the school during summer vacation. I'd have plenty of chances. Ooh, email. This is a message from the White Lily Society leader, Rise, to all students. The traditional summer camping trip will begin in 4 days. If you wish to participate, please respond to this message. I am sorry that this communication is reaching you so late. I forgot about it due to my house arrest. And so, while I apologise for the suddenness, I ask that you reply by tomorrow. Wow, summer camping trip. That must have been one of the incentives she'd mentioned. Of course I'll participate. There. Where are we going? I knew that we were free to leave school during summer vacation, but I couldn't imagine the school organising a trip. Is it an overnight trip? Camping trips usually are. That means I'll need a larger bag. I quickly started making plans in my mind. School trips were... well, they were lonely occasions for me. I could never pay the deposit, thus I could never participate. I'd ended up staying home by myself. Man, I could still devote more time to doing my part-time jobs at least, but still. Thinking back, this would be my first time going on a trip with other people. And I felt renewed gratitude that I'd been able to attend Venice's. Thank goodness. I mismanaged things terribly, but I've gotten replies from almost everyone. It is a yearly tradition after all. I'm sure everyone had already decided if they were attending or not. Yes, you're probably right. This sort of quick response was another of Venice's strengths. You wouldn't get this kind of cooperation with organising bodies at a normal school. It's very unusual though. You're usually so organised. I'm shocked you forgot such an important communication. Yes, normally I wouldn't. This is likely the first time I've ever been so careless. Was the house arrest that hard on you? It isn't that. I was just so worried about you. Ah. So on top of forgetting my important business communications, I made absolutely no progress on my homework. Really, you should take responsibility. Sorry. What a coincidence. I didn't make any progress on my homework either. That's standard practice for you, sister. When I'm alone, sure, but I can do it when we're all together, see? On Aka-san's recommendation, we'd all gathered in the classroom to work on our homework. Didn't see the take that tap there. In terms of pure efficiency, it would be better to work alone though. Really? This way people can help me with the parts I don't know. Sister, you are the only one among us who is in 3rd year. None of us can help you. Yeah, well that's true. But I really was worried. Didn't have any way to contact you to know if you're alive or dead. I was beside myself with worry. I hear you. I wanted to let you know I was okay, but... I'm sorry. I wish to visit you in the hospital, but... Mother stopped me. That's okay. Mother's just terrible. She says you don't need to visit someone who's reaping the fruits of his own folly. Me too. Chio dropped her pencil and stared up at the ceiling with a sigh. If I can't finish my homework on time, I'm blaming you. You always did it the night before anyway. Yeah, well that's true. After I told her that I remembered what happened that summer, Chio had returned to normal. At least on the surface. Really should set things straight with her soon. By the way, where are we going for camp? I was surprised to hear they'd be taking us away from Venice's, but... Huh? Huh? Ah, I see. That's what normal camping trips must be like. Masaya-sama, for the summer camp, we go up? Up? I returned here from home almost instantly to attend training camp with my club, but this is the school's camping trip. At this time, most people prefer to go up rather than staying in the dorms. By up, do you mean up the mountain? Yes? Ah, so that's what the summer camp is. Figured we'd be staying overnight in Kurosawa or something. Are you disappointed? No, it isn't that, but do we stay there overnight? Yes, 3 days, 2 nights. So is there a place for us to stay at the top? We? Even though the dorms are just down the mountain. Seems like kind of a waste. Well, I can't deny that. There was something very Venice's about all of this, though. What, you mean spending a load of money you don't have on stuff you don't actually need? Yep, sounds like this school. Well, it would be a pain to go all the way back down. Is it very far? Not very. It's about 30 minutes each way, right? Yes. It's been a while since I went. I only went once in intermediary, I think. Really? It's a tradition. I figured you'd go every year. Ah, never fit in like most of the people here. Going on trips with everyone else was pretty boring. Yeah. But sister, you've become rather more popular lately. Oh? For instance, when they were trying to force Masaya-sama to quit school, you did so much work then. That did do quite a bit. Many people have re-evaluated you. Oh jeez, I've lost my whole identity. I would think you would prefer to be accepted. Ritsuko-chan sighed, but Ayaka-san just laughed at her. There's so much about Ayaka-san I just don't really understand yet. We'd certainly become closer, but there was still a lot I didn't know. Both about Ayaka-san herself, and about the relationship between the sisters. There was that weird exchange while they were playing Life. They didn't seem dysfunctional at all, on the contrary, they made a good pair. But still, something about their relationship, something that felt, I don't know, closed off from outsiders? Or maybe that's just what it was like to have a sibling. I was an only child, so I wouldn't know. By the way, what do you do on the camping trip? We swim in the lake. It feels wonderful. Wow, a lake. That sounds cool. Ah. What is it? Oh, I'm actually a hopeless swimmer. I see. Do not worry, there are no tubes prepared. Yeah, it's one thing in a shallow pool. Even with in a tube, I'd still be a little scared of lake swimming. I think I'll pass on that. I see. What a terrible shame. I should like to see your wonderful body one more time. Although, whether or not you swim and whether or not you remove your shirt are two different matters entirely. Hold it! I don't like that look in your eyes. Well, since there's going to be girls everywhere, I probably won't do any sunbathing. That was a well-punctuated thing. Sorry, again, I'm never sure if the microphone's going to pick up things like car horn honking outside. What a terrible shame. She seemed to mean that last one even more than the first. If I take off my shirt, they'll see the scar on my back. It wasn't that I didn't want anyone to see it, or that I had a complex about my scar. It was sort of, Rysan saw it, she might realise that I was her old chin. It wasn't that I didn't want her to realise it either, but... well, when she found out, I wanted it to be very far from me. I didn't want it to be some accident of fate. Swimming in that lake would be amazing, but... oh well. Come in. Oh, Konomi-chan. Salutations. I opened the door to find Konomi-chan there. This was unusual. We talked often enough, but it was rare that we had a chance to speak one-on-one. She seemed nervous about something. She was strangely hesitant to meet my eyes, though not as much as when we'd first met, of course. What's wrong? It regards the topic from this afternoon. Masaya-san, are you truly a poor swimmer? I thought maybe you didn't want to be seen in a swimsuit because of your scar. Is that it? Well, I nodded vaguely. In that case, please do not worry. Konomi-chan seized my hand tightly and looked straight into my eyes. Her hands are rough. Maybe it's from her Nagata practice. I felt a little bad thinking about that. I felt a little bad thinking about that when she was being so serious, though. It surely is an honourable scar. Honourable. My grandmother told me there are 2 ways one acquires a scar on their back. Did I tell you this story? Yeah, I remember. One's from running away, the other's from protecting someone, right? Precisely. Or alternatively, somebody sneaks up on you and attacks you. Or even you're up against 2 people at once, and one comes at you from behind. There are an awful lot of ways to get wounds on your back. Those are the 2 really obvious ones, but... I have ascertained that the scar on your back was attained from protecting someone. Because you protected me then, too? What, you mean from the hot water in the shower? It's an instinctive response. And that makes it all the more meaningful. When one practices often enough, the body moves without thinking. What I'm saying is that if you do something unconsciously, it's because you've done it before. And I'm certain that your actions at that time were done unconsciously. So I believe that that is your true nature. Thanks. I'm happy to hear that. Am I? Are they going to share a Bezier? Anyway, I must be going. And she was gone like that. If we'd been out on the ground, she'd probably have kicked up a dust cloud. You mean she'd have done a full-on meep meep and skedaddled? I love Roadrunner. Seriously, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons are still hilarious. I actually know someone who could do the proper, that tongue flicky noise thing he does before he does the meep meep. I cannot do it justice at all. But, I took off my shirt and stood in front of the mirror. It really is conspicuous. I craned my neck back to the mirror and still found it shocking even now. It radiated killer intent. It was known as an attempted murder, which meant there were no casualties. That woman had intended to kill. I wondered what had gone through my mind at that moment. Even though I'd recovered the memories, they were still hazy. Maybe the scar really was a sign that I'd had protected Liz Branch. If that was the case, it was something to be proud of. As always, the headmistress put a damper on my summer camp plans. What is the meaning of this, Madam Headmistress? The meaning of what? You don't know? Do you really intend to forbid Monsieur Sand's participation? Don't tell me you're trying to suggest he's not an official student again, are you? I would happily suggest that. He is not an official student until he passes the grand vote, you know that. However, that is not the reason why I am forbidding him. Then what is it? Okanogi Miseko, you realise that you should not be here now, don't you? Huh? Do not say huh. Have you forgotten that you are still under house arrest? But that punishment has already expired. For you and the others, yes. However, he was in the hospital during that term. Do you really think that a hospital stay qualifies as house arrest, Rise? Yes, I would say it does, personally. But there were no Jardins stationed in front of my door, I assumed. They have their summer vacation as well, and I will not have them sacrificing their private time because of a few unruly students. You'll just have to give it up. But don't worry, perhaps there will be next year. The headmistress shot me a triumphant smile, and just then there was a knock on the door. Come in! Excuse me? Oh! Sister Mishima smiled as she saw us. What is it, Sister Mishima? Madam Headmistress, there's been a problem. It regards the summer camping trip. Miss Satori is sick in bed with a summer cold. Miss Satori? Oh, what shall we do? Miss Satori is the only one who knows how to run the boat. A summer cold? Are you referring to influenza? What? Yes. In that case, it will take her quite some time to recover. We'll just have to postpone the camp until then. That would mean it'd be after my house arrest expired. My son always was thinking ahead. Yes, that's true. Madam Headmistress, is this what you would advise? No. What? The summer camp begins on August 10th. That is our tradition. But there is nothing we could do. The lake will simply have to be off the itinerary for this year's camp. Wait, Madam Headmistress, you must be reasonable. You're just doing this to be cruel to Masaya-san now. An unpardonable thing to say. Take it back. No, I will not take it back, because what you're saying is absurd. How is it absurd? Our traditions are important. The lake is a tradition too. Assistant Mishima ducked her head as the headmistress glared at her. The boat's there for safety, right? Isn't there anyone besides Miss Satori who can use it? Yes, that's right. Most people have never been on a boat. Those who have never held an oar before. I see. Madam Headmistress, could I leave my room if it was to perform community service? Community service? Yes, let me see. Community service is compatible with our school's ideals. If it were true community service, then I would not object. Thank you. You shouldn't thank me yet. What do you intend to do exactly? I'm going to run the boat and play lifeguard. What? Right, horse laughter is terribly unladylike. But sister, didn't you see the way Madam Headmistress ground her teeth? I know she grudgingly allowed it because of what you said, but the lake is tradition too. Perhaps. But you never failed to amaze me. Did you learn how to work a boat at one of your jobs? Nah, it was just for fun. I like getting out on the lake by myself, looking up the sky, forgetting all the bad things in my life. I see. And so, I was permitted to come along on the trip to perform community service. Of course, the headmistress didn't forget to chastise me. You are not there to have fun, and you will not stay overnight. You will commute from the dormitories. Do you hear me? God, the headmistress is... Yeah, she's a bitch. There's no subtle way of saying it. She is a raging, psychotic bitch. Summer training camp. August the 10th came, and those going on the camping trip were to assemble in the gymnasium at 8:30. The girls had already been forming lines in the gym, and as usual the students of Venice showed flawless organisation. I quickly moved to get into the line for my class. There's really a lot of people coming. It seemed like about half of the class. It was about half the school that had returned early after all. It was truly an effective incentive, it seemed. But they've all brought so much luggage. I was seeing a lot of huge suitcases. I was wondering if they were going on an overseas trip instead. I'd be coming home in the evening, so I was pretty much empty-handed, but watching the others, well, it was still exciting. The teachers instructed the students to keep to the lines as they walked, and the procession began. Rattle, rattle, rattle. The wheeled suitcases made a tremendous noise. Not even the Fila de Venices could keep that kind of military order as they walked, and the lines dispersed even before they were out of the gym. Maybe it's because of all the heavy luggage. Our class's turn came around and we left the gym. Salutations! Morning. I'm glad you seem to be enjoying yourself. I see you're empty-handed. Would you like me to carry your bag? I see, but no. Getting a little winded while climbing the mountain's part of the fun. I see a lot of people brought big suitcases. Do they really need all that for a 3-day trip? They do. They need all the bathroom products and shampoo and conditioner and hair dryers and facial cleansers and makeup and lotion. They don't have shampoo at the lodge. It's a bit rough. They do, but it's best to use one's usual product. Oh, I get it. Girls really were picky about some things. Though I didn't really mind it. Personally, I try to travel as light as possible. There are some people who even bring a lot of large stuffed animals. Why would they need those? Well, there are those who can't sleep without hugging a stuffed animal. Yeah, I'll freely admit I get that. Don't get me wrong, I don't need any of the... Hang on, let me do a quick head count. Let's call it a nice round 20. I don't need any of the 20 stuffed animals that are on my bed to sleep. You know, I didn't take any of them to university with me, but doesn't mean I don't like having them there. I didn't know this road was here. The campus was halfway up Mount Amaro, and the lodge was higher up. This was my first time walking the path I used to get there. With the sounds of the insects and wild birds all around me, I felt like I was surrounded by nature. Oh, the air is so fresh. It seemed like I was the only one feeling so carefree though. Everyone else looked exhausted. The lines had completely drifted apart, to the point where they could be hardly called lines at all. Phew. I'm exhausted. I can't believe people do this every year. As an upperclassman, Ayaka-san had started ahead, but at some point she had ended up back with us. This is very enjoyable. You like to stay positive, but I see. That's how solid a cult. Sekun, where's your luggage? I don't have any. I'm on a day trip. You didn't even bring a handbag, though? That's weird. I don't have a handbag, so that's a boy for you, I guess. That's right. Sekun, would you mind carrying my luggage? Just for a little while, at least. Sure. Hey, you can't do that. Huh? Why not? Because I won't allow you to take it easy while everyone else is working. Didn't you say you were having fun before? I am, and I want you to enjoy the entire experience of summer camp as well, Ayaka-sama. I'm fine, I get it. But the others seemed like they might have something to say about that. The others? I turned around to see Chio, and Riku-san had made it up to us. Salutations. Hey. Riku-san seems to be exhausted, while Chio was in good shape. So hang on, a half-hour walk up a path, and they're this knackered. God, you people are out of shape. Yeah, granted, I do a reasonable amount of walking. Now, I have an advantage, as I've already mentioned once in this Let's Play. I'm 6'5". My legs are literally 3 foot long, which means I have a heck of a walking pace. But still, I once got bored and walked 15 miles. It happens. Now, granted, that was mostly flat. Actually, no, it wasn't flat. It was in, it was in York, so there was a couple of hills, and that was about it. York is mostly flat. Riku-san, okay, there we go. Yeah, I've had that line. Riku-san, are you okay? You've been breathing heavily for a while. Yes, this is nearly how I sound during that. During what? You know, I don't know, marathons or gym class. Then why didn't you just say during marathons from the start? The word wouldn't come to me. The only words I could think of were demonstratives, like this, or that thing. You're not a grandmother, you know. Riku-san, you're really working up a sweat. If it's that hard on you, perhaps you should take a brief rest. Yes, I believe the reason it's so hard is because my thing is so big. Here you go. Your thing? Your bag? I mean, my chest. Well, I suppose that's possible. What are you looking at? Ow! It was the usual interplay. Chio was still in good spirits, though. You seem to have a lot of energy, Chio. Well, I don't have a big chest after all. I'm sorry. I've said it before, but based on the way she's drawn, yes she does. That isn't what I was getting at exactly. That's right, I'm still a 38C. Just enough to get in my way during track. Okay, for the record, I have no idea, if that's large or small, because I have no knowledge of bra sizes, okay? Why did you make me say that? I don't think anyone made you. I think you just wanted to say it. Hey, it's not as small as you say. Huh? She was flat as a board in elementary and middle school. Shut up! And she kicked my shin for the third time, and I felt like the bone was going to break. San, when you were little, was your amazing thing much smaller? What are you talking about? You know, your thing. My thing? Let me think. What's it called? It starts with a P. It's obviously not going to be penis. We know that, right? We all held our breath, waiting to see what she was going to say. And you know what, guys? I think I'm going to make you hold your breath to find out until the next part. because we are pushing our 30-minute count, so that seems like a reasonable point to end it. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.